Good afternoon on what is a bright, breezy and slightly cool day. It is Sunday the 11th of October. I am back in the reading nook with a pile of parcels. I've already had a look at that, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delve into a parcel I've already been in and do an unbox that. All accompanied of course by a nice hot cup of tea. And what I've pulled out is that. A one shot for the Mothership Sci-Fi Horror RPG game. Now, there are actually several of these in this pack, and I have unboxed them all or nearly all so far. So there are unboxing videos on the Haunting of Epsilon 14, Terminal Delays at Anarin's Folly, Hideo's World, Chromatic Transfer, and the last one is the Hacker's Handbook. Now, all of these are one-shots for Mothership, the sci-fi horror role-playing game, which is an old-school Renaissance style game that looks a bit like a fanzine and takes as its inspiration the films Alien, Aliens and Outland, both essentially for their horror elements, if not specifically the sort of like the actual basically monsters, and also for their tone, which is blue collar science fiction. And now that's science fiction which takes place in space and on other planets, where the environment is somewhere where the characters work. Space is a working place. So they will generally be clothed in tough, grimy clothing, oil-stained, and the machinery will be heavy, cumbersome, and designed for multiple redundancies, and there'll be none of the gleaming white panels and blinking lights and cast wandering around in plush pajamas. It's a very different tone in terms of its science fiction. Now, these one-shots, these raw one-shots, come on quite a different little format, which is as pamphlets, but trifold pamphlets. So when you fold them out, you have everything you need to run the scenario on the inside of the pages and supplementary information on the back two panels. Now, the Hacker's Handbook. Hacking in Mothership can be lucrative if dangerous skill for any crew members to acquire. You can open doors, control gun turrets, and expose sensitive information. Most hacking's check are simple. An electronic airlock is locked, and the hacker makes an intelligence hacking. Okay, so essentially, first off, this as much is about. What we've got here is it's not a scenario. It's not a one shot. It's a supplement. Whereas all of these are one shot adventures. So this is different. So having seen adventures in this format, we now have a supplement in this format. What we've got here is a simple guide to the skill, an exploration loadout, so crowbar, Fedorova Turner Onika workstation installed with Icebreaker and Ripper 2. So with this Mothership, the sci-fi role-playing game, is sort of sidestepping into the cyberpunk genre to an extent. There's no cyberware, there's no basically upgrading with metal and plastic as such. It's rather that the character can access computers and electronic subsystems, so we have a discussion of networks here and nodes there, and security and function sonar discussed as well as potential response from security or the computer system if the player character doesn't do as well as he hopes. Okay, and then so you know, we might have a warning message, or devices remotely powered off, user account locked out for 1d10 hours, or denial of service, malware attack, that sort of thing. And then on the back we have user accounts and the different types of accounts and so on. So that includes basically from guest accounts, employee accounts, admin accounts, up to super user accounts, and then the suggestion of how to socially hack systems, such as getting hold of an employee badge, and so on, that sort of thing, which I'm constantly being warned about by my employers. But since I work from home, I don't think anybody's getting in here with a badge, or with my badge anyway. And then we've got a list of the equipment on the back. So there we go. So this is kind of optional, and it's probably not necessarily something you want to bring to the table. It's an option if you want to play a player who wants to play something different rather than the Teamsters, Marines, scientists, and basically pilots of the core rules for Mothership. This adds another character class. Again, this is probably not something I would necessarily have bought, I will admit, if it hadn't been part of this pack, because what you've got, essentially, I thought there were going to be 5 adventures, essentially there's 4 adventures plus a supplement. And these work out at about, these work out at about $4.50 each. So they're not necessarily, they're as scenarios go, they're not inexpensive. Essentially, these offer basically a session or so of play, and that's good value. But I mean, in and of themselves, they are not as cheap as you think they should be. So this, I think, probably more optional but useful, rather than these, which you probably do want to have just in your arsenal to prepare and run at a relatively short notice. Okay, so thank you once again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, then please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, then I appreciate you taking the time to post those, and I do read them. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me back here in the Nook with a parcel, okay, and a book or a game which I can talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all accompanied, of course, by a nice hot cup of tea, then do please hit that subscribe button. Anyway, once again, thank you for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, thank you very much, and I will see you again soon for another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.